Folks, do I have some advice for you? I got some really good advice here, but it's up to you to listen. It's up to you to ponder what I'm going to say in the next few minutes and to see if you're going to listen or not, right? Well, guess what? I have titled this video, Don't Ruin Your Germany Trip. Ask these 10 questions. So I have 10 questions. All right. Now, I have a lot of questions. I was writing down questions. I could ask this question, and I came up with about 50. But I'm only going to share 10 at this time. Last week's video, it was entitled, Never Travel with These People to Germany, Trip Ruined. And I tell you what, that was a heartfelt video, okay? Because things really do happen to people, all right? But look, when you're selecting somebody to travel with you to Germany, I'm not talking about just somebody you don't know. I'm talking about friends and family who you think you know, okay? But when you select that person to travel with you, especially to beautiful Germany, schön Deutschland, right? You have to use your head, okay? But it requires logistics. It requires budget. And you got to think about this. Everybody's different. Well, I've known him for 26 years. You don't know somebody until you travel, okay? And if you want to ensure a smooth journey, a smooth travel experience to Deutschland, aka Germany, take heed. And that is why here is 10 critical, did I say critical questions to ask a potential buddy, friend, family member when you're getting your schedules ready, when you're booking your trips, okay? So here we go. You ready? Number one is, and write it down. Give them a test. Write these questions down and give it to them. Or write it up on the computer. Send it to them in an email. And you are not going until these questions are answered, all right? But number one, what is your preferred daily pace? Huh? What do you mean? Well, do you want go, or do you want to go and relax? There's a difference. So you need to determine if they want to run around, see as many sites as possible, okay? Or do they want to take their time for each experience? It's the slow travel model, which I love. I've been there, done that, trying to do everything. But you gotta just take your time. But which one are they? You need to ask them that question. What is your preferred daily pace? All right? Because in Germany, I tell you what, it often means choosing between seeing multiple castles all in one day. I saw 5 castles today. Well, good for you. What did you learn? Or spending one afternoon at a historical site, like a museum or whatever. I like museums. I could spend hours in museums. But I took one for him one time, and he didn't care. He was like, okay, this is cool, let's go. And I wanted to read more about the information. So it's stuff like that. Now, me and him were buddies. We understood each other. You know, he hung out a little bit, and I did the same on his stuff that I wasn't interested in, but I hung out a little bit. But everybody's different. Number two, all right, is what is your total trip budget and daily spending limit? All right. I try to be as organized as possible. And I'm learning. Sometimes I could be too organized, okay? But I do believe you have to be organized, okay? For a budget, for how much I'm going to spend in a day. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. But I think I'm past the age of beating myself up with it, right? But you got to have a realistic total cost to avoid the disappointment later, right? So say you're in Munich. Munich's one of my favorite cities in Germany, okay? For one day, for a hotel, museums, a sit-down restaurant, you're looking at about 100 euros, okay? Split, between everybody, whatever, okay? It's not much, but you need to put those stuff in your minds and their minds. Okay, what am I going to spend? What are we doing? Okay, so we got to think a little bit, right? All right. Next is, are you an early bird or a night owl? This makes a lot of sense to ask, right? So sleep schedules are vital for harmony in your group or whatever, your friends, okay? For harmony. Now, me, I like harmony. Okay? So if one person wants to hit the first train to the Bavarian Cathedral at 8 a.m., and the other prefers sleeping in, it could lead to friction. All right. Now, how are you going to handle that? So that's the questions that they need to answer. Okay. Now, me, I'll say, hey, you want to do that? Hey, go do your own thing. That's the way it goes. But you need to express it. You need to talk about it. The next one is, how do you prefer to get around? Rental car, train, public transportation. Okay. Some might prefer the car. I just want a car. I don't want to mess with public transportations. All right. Because I want to see the off the beaten path locations. Right. So, but you might get some others. No, I'm just going to take the regional trains because they're efficient and they're affordable and they're very easy to use. Okay. Yes, they are. Both are true. But you need to come together and come to a conclusion. Which one are you going to do? Now, me, when I go to Germany, I love both. I rent vehicles all the time in Germany. It's fun driving in Germany. I absolutely love it, especially standard. I love driving standard stick shift, right? But I also love the German train system. I just do. There's something about the German train system that brings back a lot of memories for me, and it's just fun to go all over the place, either the regional Bahn or the fast trains known as the ICE. I would call them ICE trains, but intercity express. Okay, but we need to come up with a determination. What are we going to use? Are we going to use train or car or both? Now, me, I prefer both. So we could work with folks with like that, right? Especially in a group setting or if you have 3 or 4 friends with you. All right. Now, this one's big. The next one. What are your top 3? Hear me out. Top 3 non-negotiable must-see destinations in Germany. I've got to see the Neuschwanstein Castle. I've got to do this. I've got to go to the Heidelberg Castle. I got to do this. All right? So have each person in your group list 3 to 5 priorities, okay? 3 to 5 of their must-see. I got to see this, okay? This helps keep everybody happy. It keeps an itinerary flowing. It keeps everybody happy. We'll make sure we get those spots and we could fill in between. These are really good questions. Now, another one here is, how do you want to handle shared expenses? All right. So you need to agree. You need to come up with agreement on whether you're going to tally up every cost, divide everything 50-50 at the end, or take turns paying for things more casually. There's many ways, but you need to come up with a plan. There are many apps out there where you could split the bill on the app, and they'll get notifications and all that stuff, and it works great. I'm gonna have a video on that in the near future, actually. But there's ways to do that. The thing is, you need to know the answer to that question. How do you want to handle shared expenses? Okay. All right. Next is, what are your accommodation preferences? Hotels, Airbnbs, hostels. Look, you have to decide, be upfront with whoever you're going with, your comfort level. Are you willing to share a room or even a bed to save cost? Now, in Germany, the beds are split in half, right? They're not like ours in the States where we got one big mattress. They're split in half and you can move the beds, okay? So, but you have to determine the level of comfort on where you want to be. Me, I don't need nothing fancy. It just needs to be clean. Clean, and I'm good. It does not need to be fancy, because when I'm in Germany, I'm not sitting around a hotel room. I guarantee you that. I am walking around cobblestone roads. I'm enjoying me some good German coffee. You know what I'm about to say. And some good spaghetti ice. Spaghetti ice. Absolutely. All right. Let's keep going here. Do you have any dietary restrictions or specific eating habits? This is so important. Now, see, all this stuff I've learned over the years, okay? Well, I can't eat that, da-da-da. Oh, man, we should have discussed this, okay? But discuss it beforehand. Do you prefer sit-down restaurants? Do you prefer quick takeaway or whatever? Over in Europe, they say takeaway. We say to go. Or making food and wherever you're living, okay? I like Airbnbs with stoves in it and places where I could cook, refrigerators, absolutely. But I also like going out to eat, absolutely. Or do you prefer to eat out every single time? I mean, look, these are things that must be spoken about, talked about, okay, discussed. All right. The next one is very important. Man, I've learned this many times. Taking people that I've known for years. You think you know them, but you go on a trip and you find out how much you don't know them. All right. But listen to this question. How much daily alone time do you need to recharge? It's a simple question, right? Do you prefer hanging out where everybody all at the same time, or do you need a few hours of independent time to be by yourself? It needs to be brought out to the very front. I like a little bit of both. I like doing everything in a group, but I like to go out on my own and whatever. And I encourage folks in my groups anyway. Hey, go figure out something you want to do, and we'll meet back here at this certain time. But this must be discussed. It's important. Okay, it's important to ask that question. All these questions. And look, finally, what is your philosophy on planning, on versus being spontaneous? Now, look, I like schedules, all right, but I also like spontaneity. I like being spontaneous. But you need to determine if the person you know forever, you think you know forever until you travel with them, do they need a set schedule? Do they need advanced reservations? Or do they prefer to wing it and let the day take them where it will? Now, with me, again, I like both. I like planning to a degree, but I like to leave that time to be spontaneous. And because you never know what could come up. You never want to plan everything too much, right? Because if you plan things too much, it's too much. It really is. Hence my slow travel. I love that slow travel. But guys, I hope these questions will help you. Look, send these questions out to whoever you're traveling with, to Germany or wherever, but especially Germany because Ich liebe Deutschland, right? All right. Send them out. Tell them this is not a joke. This is not a joke. You are not going with me on this trip unless every single one of these questions are asked. Maybe I should put a number 11 in there. We're gonna put question number 11 there as a little bonus question. Okay, and here it is. Do you have any other further questions? Yes. So let's make it 11. It's still entitled 10, but that's a little bonus one. Do you have any other questions? See, that covers you. Well, you didn't ask me that. Nope, because I added a number 11. Guys, all this is meant to help you. It's also meant to be fun too. Okay, do it in a fun way, and let's see what the results are. Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever given a test to a friend or a family member before you travel? If not, would you give a test to a friend or a family member before you travel with them? Guess what? I am, and they're going to take this test, and if they don't pass it, I'm going to pass them by. No, I've been there. I've done that. I've got the T-shirt. I sold the T-shirt. Ran the T-shirt over with my truck. Put it back on again and ripped it off again. Done. No one's going with me unless they answer those questions. Guys, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you around more on my channel, Magnificent Germany with Darion. I am a YouTube Germany travel vlogger where I love vlogging my trips to Germany. I'm always planning my next trip, and I can't wait to get back there. So, folks, I hope you have a great day, and get to Germany. Get to Germany. Tell Germany I sent you there. All right, and until next time, Danke schön und tschüss, a.k.a. Tschüssies.